So we have seen in a classes yesterday. We'll start with packages today. So uh, this topic is very simple, and I think most of you like already have got hold of packages as of now. You have seen like how we basically create a package. So we'll see some of the demonstrations today, and this topic is very simple. So I think it will be very easy for everyone today. And packages is one of the ways to basically organize a module or organize some logical grouping of classes. So when you create a big project, there might be many files, and you want to basically categorize those files or the resources in different modules such that it becomes easy to recognize that this module contains files with this contains certain files, and by seeing the name of the module you know that there will be some files related to something. So that is why packages are a very good way of like reorganizing your files and imports. So one way is that when you create a project, so you will create a package and then write down certain Java files or some uh, JSP files. Means it depends on the project as well. So when you create a Spring Boot project, you would see a lot of packages getting created, and you would basically modularize your code. There would be different layers of the projects. Means when I will teach you Spring Boot project, there would be MVC layer, so that is model view controller. So I'll talk about these terminologies later in detailed way, but I'm just giving you some context that model view controller. So each of those classes are categorized in a different package, in a different module, so that it becomes easy to separate out the layers of the project. So what, by seeing the package you know that this layer basically contains code related to uh, 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 this particular layer. So that becomes like very easy for you to access your files, and it also gives you an ease of searching the files as well. So that there are like numerous advantages of using packages. We have already seen how we basically create a package using your editor, and you have also seen some of the package uses when we were seeing the access specifiers like the private, public, protected, and default. So I'll show you some more demo today, but this will be a very easy topic. So we'll see some of the packages that you create and some of the built-in packages that Java already provides. Okay, I'll go to the next slide. So see, this is basically the built-in packages of Java. So if you see this java.lang, java.io, java.net, java.util, java.awt. So these are the packages that Java has. These are like inbuilt packages. So these are just some of the packages. There are lots and lots of packages. So Java has inbuilt package. So in each of the package, there's a set of libraries. So if you see beneath this java.lang, there is like system, thread, exception, string buffer. So these are basically built-in classes in Java, and these classes are under this package java.lang. Similarly, if you see this java.io package, there are classes like reader, writer, input stream, output stream, print writer. So these are some of the built-in packages. Similarly, if you see this java.net, so this package is basically about networking related classes. So in Java, there are several classes which basically help you talk between two different networks. Means if there is a host computer and there is a server computer, how you basically communicate between two different communicate computers on different network. So there are different classes for that. Using your inet address, you can basically access. So these classes help you in writing such code like socket, server socket, url encoder. So these are basically in this package. So no need to get worried if you have not seen these classes as of now. Means it depends upon the project that you create, but I'm just giving a overview, like the package that you have, like java.net, java.io, java.lang, java.util, java.awt. This contains this below package below classes. So java.util we will be using heavily when we study collections topic. So when we will study about the collection framework, about some of the data structures in the collection framework, we'll be basically using java.util a lot. So these are some of the Java built-in packages. And when you will basically create any class object, or when you will start using any of these classes, so you will see that the editor automatically imports some of the import statements at the top of your class. We'll see that when we basically create a demo. I'll show you how you can basically use these built-in packages as well. So this is how we basically create a package. So in the demos that I have shown you, you must have seen this statement package, some package name at the top of the class. So that basically denotes that there's a package which and the name of the package is graphics. So this is the package name. And see, this is a class which is basically extending some other parent class and implementing some interface. So when you see this line, class circle extends shape, implements draggable, you know that circle is the child class and shape is the parent class. So since this child class is extending the parent class, and also this draggable, this is an interface. Why? Because we are implementing this. So a class basically implements an interface and extends another parent class. So, and package graphics is a way to basically create a package. So the syntax is package keyword space package name. So graphics is basically the package name here. So when we go ahead and create the package with the editor, basically you don't have to write this package and package name. But what happens? Suppose you don't you are not using an editor. So in that case, basically you will have to write this line of statement yourself, like package space package name. Then you will be able to basically modularize your code or create a package. So creating packages is very easy. Package and followed by package name. So naming packages. So basically this is the convention you will follow while naming the packages. You might have seen that I was creating packages like com.java.training, then dot something, right? So you will always use lower cases while you create a package, and you can start your package with com dot, and it depends upon the project that you are creating. So suppose you have some project in your organization, then you can give your com.org whatever organization name you have, com dot organization name dot some part of the project you can specify. So this is just a simple example of creating a package com.sql.graphics. So each word would be separated by a dot, and all the letters would be in lowercase while you basically name the package. And access specification. Uh, we have seen this topic already when I had taught you access specifiers. So what are the access specifiers mainly? These are like private, default, protected, and public. So while teaching inheritance, I have shown you this uses of private, default, protected, and public. So when do we basically use private, when you will basically use default, protected, or public, and what is their scope? Like at what scope each of these access specifiers can be accessed. So we know that private is like accessible only in the class in which it is defined. So see, if you see this table, on the left hand side in the first column we have the package access level, like same class, same package subclass, same package non subclass, different package subclass. So what that means is private access specifier is only accessible in the same class. Suppose you have created some private method or a private variable. So that will be accessible only in the class you create. It will not be accessible anywhere else. Even if it is in the same package you have different class, it will not be accessible. It will only be accessible any private method or any private variable that you create, that will be accessible only in the same class. So, and let's see another access specifier, that is default. So what is basically default? So if you do not specify any uh, other access modifier like private, protected, or public in place, instead before your class name, before your method name, or before the variable name, by default it is at default access level. So what that means is default has its scope of access within the same package. Suppose I have created one package and I have say 10 files in that, and I want to access any of the file in other file in that package. So I will be able to do. I will be able to do. So and see, there are three things. It will be accessible in the same class. Suppose I have a default variable and a default method. So it will be accessible in the same class. Means you can call that method from any other methods as well. You can call that variable in any of the methods in the same class. Similarly, in the same package, you have a child class. So your child class can also inherit those variables and methods in the same package. And there is another class which is not a child class but within the same package, that can also use your default methods and variables. But if there is any package which is outside, if there is another package, suppose I have like package A and package B, and I have suppose say 10 files in package A, I want to use one of these files in package B. Will I be able to do that? No, the answer is no. Why? Because the default scope of access is only within the package. So package A files, whatever whatever variables or methods, whatever you have written with default access, that will not be accessible in package B. So that is the difference. Now let's see protected access modifier. So protected has a little higher scope of access then default and private. So protected will definitely, if you define anything with or declare any variable or method with access level of protected, it will be accessible in the same class. It will be accessible within the same package subclass as well, and same package non subclass as well. So non subclass is basically a class which is not a child class of the parent class, and subclass is basically a child class which inherits a parent class. So it will be accessible to all subclass and non subclass as well. And also protected variables or methods can be basically accessed outside of the package, but in the other package that class has to basically inherit the uh, class from the other package. Only then it will be accessible. So that is the difference. If you see this line, different package subclass, yes, but only through inheritance. That means in the other package, the class that wants to use the methods or variables of any other class from the other package, that class has to extend that particular class. Means it is by way of inheritance that can be done. So the class that wants to use the variables and methods as protected will have to basically be a child class of the class in which the methods and variables are declared. So this is the difference. And public access modifier has the highest scope of access. That means it is accessible within the same class, it is accessible within the same package subclass, within the same package non subclass. Basically if you make your methods or variables as public, it can be accessed anywhere. So that is the scope of access of this modifiers. So I've already shown you the demo. If you go and see your demo exercise, you will get to know that we have discussed this in demo, like private, default, protected and public. So these while means I was taking the topic package, so that's why I just went ahead and gave you a quick glimpse of these access modifiers. Okay, so see, now we have something like using a class without importing the package. Okay, I'll show you these things with demo, then it will be like more clear. Let me go ahead and try to. So I've created a package named packages, and I'll show you some demo. Let's name the, okay, I have one package, and within this package let me create several other packages. Okay, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and create one class in this packages dot first. Let's name that class as first. Okay. I'll go ahead and create another package now. Let's say I have something packages dot second. So you can see that this packages, right, it has different sub packages as well, first and second. And i- this first sub package has a class created in it like circle. And let's say I have another class in the second package. Let's say we have something called rectangle. See see when I created this packages and when I created these classes, you can see this line of statement, right? The first line of statement, this is like package, and this is the package name. So your IntelliJ editor basically does it for you. But if you do not use the editor, you will have to basically write down this line of statement yourself. Only then you will be able to use this. Now let's say what I will do, I'll create some variables here. Let's say I created one public variable, public int id, and what I'm basically doing, I am trying to create a constructor of public of this class circle. I will initialize this data member, and I will just create a I'll just create a method to return this id. So now what I will basically do, I will go ahead and try to create one private variable here. Let's say it's not id, let's say it is radius. Okay, now let's say I have some data members here, like I want to declare length and width of a rectangle, and I'll go ahead and create a constructor. I'll generate a constructor, and there's also a way that if you want to get these parameters, if you want to get the length and you want to create something as method, there's a way to generate getter and setter. So I'll teach you about this getter and setter later as well. But see, when I click on generate getters and I select both of these, what will happen? Let me click on this. This editor will basically go ahead and auto generate some methods for getting length and width. That is, it will create the methods itself. Let me click on that. So if you can see these methods, right, it has like populated two methods to get the length and get the width. So these are also called getter methods. Getter methods. Basically, whatever instance variable you have, you want to get the value of that particular method uh, get the value of that particular instance variable using a method. So such method is basically getter method, and you can basically populate this very easily. Like if you go on generate, if you go on getters, and if you select both the fields, so you will be able to get those auto defined methods. So similarly, if you go ahead and click on generate, if you click on setter, if you click select both these instance variables and click on OK, see, you have something like this: public void set length this dot length is equal to length. So this is it. Let me show you one thing. Means this topic is getters and setters. This is not in packages, but I'm just demonstrating it so that it becomes easy for you. Means we'll be using this like a lot while we create Spring Boot projects, but I'm already giving you some background of the getter and setter methods here. See, this is a setter method. So let's go ahead and try to create a object of the class rectangle. Let me also have one default constructor here. And I don't want to specify anything in this default constructor. Now see what I can do. You have already seen that when I create a constructor and pass some data members here or pass some parameters, the data members get initialized, and this can be like initialized with the values. Let's say I pass like 2 and uh, let's say I pass like 5 comma 3. So when I do this, right, you know that there's an object created for this class rectangle, and the length is given a value of 5, the width is given a value of 3. Now there is another way what you can basically do. You can create a default constructor, and you can set the length. You can set the length as 5. You can set the length as set the width as 3, and let's say you want to print out the length and width. So rectangle1 dot get length, get width. So let me comment out the first. So at line number 36, the object creation, this thing you have already seen a lot, right? When we basically create a constructor, when we basically create an object and try to call the constructor. So we have seen this. Now let me try to run this. So you can see that we in the output we have got the length and width as 5 and 3. So this is also one of the ways in which we can basically create setters and getter methods and initialize your data members. But we do not have to go ahead and create a Java object or call the constructor. We can simply do it something like this. We have created a default object. We have created a we are trying to call the default constructor and trying to set the variable or the data members using this setter methods, and then we are calling them using the getter methods. I'll just write down set data members using setter methods. And here we are basically calling data members using getter methods. So this is one way. Now let's see. We'll create another class like graphic, and what we'll try to do, we will try to create a main method, and let's say I want to create a rectangle. Let's say I want to, okay, let's say we have created a rectangle object, and let's say I've also created a circle. Circle is equal to new circle. Let's say I pass the radius as 5. See, when I created the object of this class circle, when I created the object of this class circle, what happened? This circle was in a different package. The circle was in a different package. So what happened? Before using this class, we will have to import this class from the other package. So if you can see this line number 3, line number 3 is basically importing import class from other package. See, this is like importing that class. We use the keyword import, and then we provide the package path like com.java.training.packages.first, and then this is the class name. This is the class name. Suppose I don't want to, like, suppose I have like tens of files in this package, and I want to like import everything. So I might have to write another import statement for importing something from package first, and then another import statement. So if you want to like import all the statements, sorry, import all the classes from that particular package in a single statement, what you can basically do, you can write down dot star semicolon. So what this means is it will import every file from this package first. So you don't have to write separate import statements for importing other files. So this is also one way to import the files or classes. So see, whenever we are trying to use any class, what the other class does is it basically imports that class. Since circle was in a different package, it will be first imported, and then we'll basically use this. So let's say I'm doing something. Let's say I want to compute the power of this. Means I want to multiply uh, the length 2 times. Let's say I'm doing power of 2. So Java provides some built-in functionality in java.lang package. The first slide that I showed you today, there is some math class as well in java.lang. So let me try to use that math.pow math.pow. So what this will take one suppose I'm passing length, and then I want to pass something 2. So what it will do, if I pass like 2, this is like how many times would you like to multiply length? So this is 2. So length into length it will do. So if I just pass it like 3, it will do length into length into length. So means I'm just teaching you, this is a inbuilt library of Java. And when I do this, right, so basically this is in java.lang package. So java.lang package will not be shown in import statements, because this is a like inbuilt this is one of the default packages that you heavily use. So sometimes this won't be shown here, but this is like auto imported by the editor. So let me go ahead and try to show you another example where I will basically create a I'll create one um, let's say I will create one array list or a list of integers. Let's say I create list of integer. I'll teach you in these things in collections as well. So I'm just trying to show you how Java imports the packages. So see, list of integer list, and then what we do basically, we create something like new array list. So see what happened when I created this line, right, created this list of integers. Basically if you see at line number 4, the editor already did some kind of import statement. So this import statement was basically necessary for importing these classes like list interface and array list class. So these are basically imported through these two statements. You can see, right, at line number 3 and 4, basically we have two import statements like java.util.arraylist, java.util.list. So the editor automatically imports these statements, means this is like kind of importing some library before using that. So you need to import those libraries, only then you will be able to use that. So this is also like importing it from some package. I had shown you in the first package, right, there was one of the packages which was named like java.util. Let me go to the slide once. So this is the package, right, java.util. So you can see hash map, set, vector, list, array list. So we have used this list and array list as of now. So that was like importing the packages. So we have seen like how basically we can create a package, name a package. We have seen the use of access specifiers also, and also see using a class without importing the package. There is a way that you don't want to use the import statements here. Suppose this is like com.java.training.first.circle. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me copy this entire path and let me comment out this statement. See, I've commented out this statement and I've commented out this statement as well. Now you started getting some error here, right? Why? Because I've commented the import statements. So what you can basically go ahead and do, you can remove this error. You can also do something like this. You can also do something like this. Means along with the package name, you have provided the class name. But this is a very bad way of doing it, and I don't like it, and this is like not very readable as well, because all the import statements, if you like import it before the before the class declaration, that looks quite readable and quite neat. So I would never recommend you to do this kind of import statements, like when you have to like import something like this along with the package path and then the class name. This is not very readable, and I would not recommend to use this. So you can basically go ahead and try to just uncomment this and try to use the import statements in this manner. The way which I showed you, that was not a good way. Means Java allows that, but I don't think that's a good way. So we'll not use that. So this was the same thing. See, what without writing the import statement, they have tried to use this class access specified test class. So this access specified test class was basically in some module 7.packages.mypackage, something like that. So they have directly used the import statement without importing it before the class declaration. But I would not recommend you to use this. This does not look very readable. So this is like package import. We have already seen these things. Whole name of every a component of a package. So see here, my package is the package name, and then dot test access specifies. So this is basically your class name. So whenever you do some import statements, so it will be like import java.util dot array list. So array list would be basically your class name, and java.util would be your package name. So this is similar to that. Once you import a package, see import package name dot class name, and now package components could be named as test access specifiers. Means you can create an object because you have already imported the classes from that package. You can use that particular class since the library is already imported. And we have also seen this import my package dot star. So what this does is it imports all the files from my package into whichever package you want to import. And you can also do something like this. Suppose you don't want to import everything from a package. Suppose that package has certain sub packages and you want to only import the sub package. You don't want to import the entire package. So you can do something like this as well. Like import my package dot sub package dot star. Dot star means in the sub package, whatever files were there, all the files will be imported. So this is another way. So this we have already seen, like importing this class first and then try to create the object of this class. We have already seen this, and we have seen this as well, like static import. So static import is something like this Java inbuilt functionality like math.sqrt or math.pow, something like this. See, there are two ways. Here I had shown you this way, right? Math.pow. When we were using that statement, uh, uh, we had used it in this manner, right? Math.pow. You can also use something like this. If you import this at the top, import static java.lang.math.sqrt. So once you have done that, you don't need to even write this math.sqrt again. See in this main method, right? In this main method, double x is equal to sqrt. So they are not again writing that method.sqrt because we have done the static import already. This see this math.sqrt and math.pow, these are like built-in libraries in some Java static class. So Java has already provided this built-in methods in as form of a static class. So you can basically call it, and you know that any static method can be called by a class name, right? So math.sqrt. But we have already done the static import like static java.lang. So java.lang is basically the package name dot math. Math is basically your class name dot sqrt. Sqrt is the method name. So once you have imported the static method in this manner, import static java.lang.math.sqrt, you can simply go ahead and call this method like sqrt, and then in the braces provide this uh, you can also call this power function. So similarly, see, power is also statically imported, so that is why you can basically use this as well. So do you have any confusion in this topic today that we saw as of now? Is there any sort of doubt that you have? Because this was like very straightforward, like just importing the packages and classes. There's nothing as such, and we had been using the packages ever since like our first or second classes. So I think this should be like very straightforward. But let me know if you still have any doubts. We'll go over that.
Peter, can you go for the demo part?
Sorry, can I go?
Yeah, demonstration part. IntelliJ.
You want me to go to IntelliJ, right? Okay.
Yeah, from rectangle. Okay. From the first, the second package, rectangle.
Rectangle, yes.
Yeah. From here, when you create the object,
When I create the object.
we are not passing the value, so you commented the value object in create. Yeah, we are not passing the value number 41. So why not
Okay.
pass it? But yeah.
Yeah. So I told you, right? See, there was like one way. See, this class has two constructors. This is a default constructor, and this is a parameterized constructor. Default constructor has no arguments, and parameterized constructor has two arguments. You agree with me? You agree until now? So
Yes, but
yeah,
I have a question from this after.
yes. Let me explain. So one way is like you can create a parameterized constructor object, and you will basically be able to create initialize the data members with the value, since here length and width are getting initialized in this manner. But what you can do, there is another way to like initialize your data members using the setter methods. So I created one default uh, uh, I'm trying to call the default constructor. So I've created this default constructor, and I have these two setter methods, set length and set width. So set length method is basically used for initializing your length variable, length data member. So when I do this rectangle 1 dot set length 5, basically I am setting the value of length as 5, and here I'm basically doing rectangle 1 dot set width. So this method is getting called, and see, this dot width is equal to width, so we are basically initializing the width. See, even in constructor we are doing these two statements at line number 16 and 17, right? If you see this, so this is basically initializing length and initializing width. So I am doing the same thing but using a method, and this method is called a setter method. In Java terms, it is basically called a setter method. See, I'm doing this dot length, and the method name is set length. So this is the convention. Whatever we basically set, so it will be followed by set, and then the variable name. So this would be the convention. And see, at line number 44 and 45, I am trying to get it. How I am trying to get it? Using the getter methods. So rectangle 1 dot get length and rectangle 1 dot get width. So see, I have two getter methods as well. So the convention would be like public, the data type expected to be returned, like length and width are of integer type, that is why I'm using the return type as integer, and then get, and then followed by the variable name. So get length. So it is returning length. And then public int get width, return width. So we are calling the variables or the data members using the getter methods. Any confusion here?
Okay, yeah, that is great. But when we generate set indicator method, uh,
Yes.
are, are they different to generate together or separate? I think you generate separate set and get method, but can we do together?
Yes, yes, we can do together. So I did that separately, but what you can do, you can go ahead, try to generate. See, we have one option of like getters and setters as well. So click on this getters and setters, and you will be shown all the, okay, let me go to this class. I
Yeah.
don't
So
have,
at this time, I think at this time we can to pass
yeah,
the value on the creating the object, not default.
yeah, let me try to show this. Go to generate, go to getters and setters, click on the parameter that you want to generate the getters and setters, and then click on OK. See, you already have this getters and setters generated for you. So this is a getter method to get the value, and then this is a setter method to set the value of radius. Got it? You can do this
Yeah,
way
yeah,
as,
yes.
yeah, the editor provides you a lot of facilities. So this way also it can be done. So today's topic was like very straightforward. There was nothing like very specific because we had already been using packages. So you are like very much familiar with this as well. So, so these things are already clear, like creating a package, naming package, what is the scope of this access specifiers in each of the packages. And I had shown you this as well, like how we can use a class without importing the package, but this way of using the class without importing the package is not recommended. It is not very readable and I don't like it as well. So please don't try to use this. This is a bad way of using the classes without importing the package. And we have seen these things, how we can basically import the packages, import the class, import the sub package, and how we can basically use the static imports as well. So these are, so this is it about package. This was a very small module. So is it fine, like if I extend like half an hour, I would like to continue on next module exceptions as well, if no one has any issues with their time constraints. If anyone has any issues, we'll drop off for today. Otherwise, we can continue with the next module as well. Can you guys let me know?
Tomorrow we have tomorrow. Yes, okay.
We
Because
don't have it tomorrow. Tomorrow there will not be any class. We'll have it on. We'll have next class on Friday EST 9:30 p.m. Right? So the weekend classes, right? Means for IST it would be Saturday. For you it would be like Friday EST 9:30 p.m. So tomorrow there is no class. Day after tomorrow there is a class. So do you want me to continue now with this topic, or do you want me to like take it in the next class? Anyone? Okay, if you don't want it, I will stop the recording and we'll take it in the next class.
Recording stopped.